Hey, how's it going, everyone? And welcome back to the Monster Taming and Chill podcast, where we interview various developers within the community to gain a greater insight of their works. Now, today I have the developer of Mython Island with me, whom some of you may know as the Game Piece. How's it going, man?
Going pretty good. How are you doing?
Oh, living the dream. Happy to be here.
Good to hear it.
Great. So, for those of you who don't know, Mython Island just released about a week ago, and it's in early access on Steam. I'm going to let the game piece describe exactly what the game entails, but basically, it's a choice driven monster taming roguelite with the choice driven elements sort of being akin to a game like Slay the Spire. I'll leave a link in the description to both the Steam page and the trailer, so after you're done here, you can check it out if you haven't, as well as their Twitter page. And that said, I have had personally a lot of fun with the game, and by the time this podcast comes out, my review should be out already. So you guys, I'll leave that linked in the description for you as well, so you can check that out. But anyways, let's not delay any further and dive into some of our fabulous questions here. So why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, man?
Yeah, so awesome. First off, thank you for having me on the podcast.
Oh, of course, of course.
As you know, my name is the Game Piece. I run Temtem YouTube channel, but I also have made Mython Island under the studio Visionstead Studio. And as Ed said, it's a monster taming slash roguelike inspired by Pokemon and other monster taming games, and Slay the Spire, mostly Slay the Spire for the roguelike element of it.
Hmm.
But basically, you're just going through choosing your starter. There's a story mode that you can go through, or a survival mode, and you can pick either one of those. Story mode, you'll kind of go through the story, picking your starter and capturing allies, but the survival mode is more of a jump in and play type of mode where you can just get a random team and kind of just pick up and play more so rather than investing the time into a story run. But yeah, that's pretty much the summary of what the game is. But early access right now, for the foreseeable future for about 3 to 6 months, and then adding in more content and fixing things up. But yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. So why don't you tell us what inspired Mython Island? Like, where did the idea come from, and what inspired you to make it specifically a roguelike and a choice-driven game?
Yeah, so I guess I wanted to make a monster taming game, but I wanted to kind of be unique about it. And I also wanted to have realistic expectations because this is my first game that I really have made by myself. So I
Oh,
didn't really necessarily want to go into like a full blown RPG for my first game that I've made. I wanted to make something realistic and obtainable in scope and something that I could actually be like manageable to get done. So yeah, that was like really the main motivation behind kind of keeping it on a smaller scale into like a roguelike, just having the battles and branching choices and things like that. So that was really what the main inspiration behind it was. I just really kind of wanted to make a monster taming game and wanted one to be obtainable.
that's actually really sensible. I've noticed throughout my time sort of covering monster taming games and talking to different developers, some of which whose games actually never came to fruition. A lot of them say they were trying to go for something bigger than themselves. And
Yeah,
sometimes it like if you don't have a team, it's really hard to make like the type of expansive game you might want to make.
exactly. And I
Yeah.
mean, especially like as I mentioned, this is the first time I've really done anything like this, so I kind of had to learn it all myself and not really lean on anyone.
Yeah.
So it was kind of smarter in the long run to make something smaller like this at first, and then maybe eventually in the future, maybe who knows, move on
Yeah.
to like a more bigger game or something.
It turned out pretty damn good for your first project, man.
Thank you, man. I'm proud of what we got here so far,
Okay.
but
Yeah. Yeah. This is a good question. Why the name Mython specifically?
yeah, so it's always kind of hard to come up with a monster taming title that's different than what's already out there. I feel like a lot of people kind of go for the Pokemon naming convention where it ends in like Mon or
Yeah.
something like Capsule or whatever. So anyway, it's kind of hard to differentiate yourself a little bit. So I wanted to do something with like mythological beings and then monsters. So Mython mythological monsters kind of just tied together in one to make it Mython.
Oh, it
But
makes
it's
sense.
just as I found it's just really hard to come up with something to make yourself stand out from the like numerous and I'm sure as you know just so many different
Yeah.
titles coming out.
Yeah, it's a little bit and a lot of them have just cropped up this year too. Like it's been
Yeah,
a big boom.
exactly. Yep. I'm excited to see what happens in the next year.
Yeah, yeah, I think 2021 is going to be crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
So how important was it to you? Like how important was it to you to include the roguelike elements such as permadeath and the randomized runs? Like was it beyond just your initial decision to go that way because it was your first project, or was there something specific about those types of games that really sort of called to you?
Yeah, so I knew I wanted to do something like Slay the Spire for sure. So having those roguelike elements like the randomized runs was something that was immediately in the forefront of my mind.
Hmm.
Permadeath kind of came as the game developed, but I found that it was the better system to have for a game like this, like with roguelike
Yeah.
and everything for survival especially. So yeah, that was probably the main reason it was important to include for me. It was really kind of central to the mechanics.
Yeah, it makes sense. So Mython Island, sorry, the Mython on Mython Island seem to be very obscure in nature. Almost, I'd say, looking like nothing you'd ever see, looking like almost alien as opposed to like the typical elemental animals we see in games like Pokemon and Temtem. Can you tell us a little bit about the design approach?
Yeah, so I definitely wanted to stand out. I know that some of the designs are maybe a little bit abstract, and that was definitely by intention. I do like the approach that most people go for, having like elemental realistic animal, not
Hmm.
necessarily realistic, but based on a realistic animal or
Yeah,
whatever. But yeah, I definitely kind of wanted to go with more unique designs. And I mean, they're based like some of them are based. I'll start off with a basis of a realistic animal, but
yeah.
I'll definitely try to modify it and put my own touch on it. I guess
Hmm.
is a good way of putting it.
No, that's a good point. I mentioned this in my review, which at this moment is pre-uploaded, ready to go tomorrow. But I mentioned that the Mython and Mython Island, they're not like I've seen a lot of Mon games where you could easily get too confused with each other. Like if you gave me, I'm not going to use any specific examples, but if you put 10 monsters and one of them was from a certain game, it'd be very hard for some of the games I've seen to say, okay, that one's from this game. But if you were to put a Mython in there, I could tell you right away that's a Mython. Like you definitely have a have something that a lot of monster taming games really would want is that sort of um, you have a unique roster that you can like immediately point out as opposed to just like another monster in the void, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely does, and that was definitely my goal with it. Like the first thing that I tried to do was come up with an art style or the style for the Mython and for the game overall, and that was something that I wanted to get across is just having unique monsters that weren't just cookie cutter type fakey if you will.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely that's definitely a like a good thing for the game. It's always good to have unique looking monsters. It really drives the appeal.
Yeah, I agree, and I kind of like breaking the boundaries of like, falling into the limitation of just having the strictly elemental based animals.
Hmm. Yeah, it sort of reminds me of the to obviously to a different extent, but like the Ultra Beasts from
Yeah,
Pokemon. None of them look
I knew
like.
you were gonna say that. That's because that's kind of maybe a little bit of an inspiration too. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
um, yeah, those are I really like those designs. I
So
know
do
some
I.
people
Yeah.
they
So
might not be everyone's cup of tea, but
yeah. It's actually funny you mentioned that because like that's one of the things that I was thinking too is like I know people that don't like the Ultra Beast, but I know people that love the Ultra Beast. It's one of those
yeah,
things like you have to be able to look at it as its own entity because even in the Pokemon lore, like those aren't technically Pokemon or
yeah,
whatever.
they're just aliens basically, or
Yeah,
just from
yeah,
another world.
and like I've always liked how how like I mean all the Pokemon aren't human, but inhuman they look like how
Yeah,
different how not like everything else they look. So yeah, it's definitely a design choice that some people might not like, but it's definitely something that I'm interested. Like I love that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I do too. Like for example, I'm just to not get off topic, but
yeah,
Guzzlord, for
yeah,
example,
yeah.
it's just insane
Yeah,
compared to any other design.
yeah, exactly. I've always been a fan of I've always liked the paper one. What's his name? Cartana.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
very cool.
Once you decide, once you decide, okay, this is sort of what the Mython's gonna look like. And I know you've answered this on I believe in Discord, but just for those who aren't watching, how does the design process go from there? Like, do you start with concept? Do you go straight to 3D? How does it work on that front?
Yeah, so I try to start with an idea first and foremost to try to get, like what it's going to be based off of first, and then go from there. Like I'll have a few different reference images pulled up, and then just kind of start modeling, just kind of get a feel for kind of where I'm going, and then once I get like the general shape designed for the Mython, I'll kind of refine it and make it a little bit or just tweak it a little bit to better fit what I think looks good and what I want for the Mython.
Hmm.
So it's a lot of kind of trial and error. And then after that, you go through and texture it and rig it up and animate and all that fun stuff. But yeah, it really just kind of starts with an idea of what I have in mind for the Mython, whether that be like a mythological monster or like a concept or whatever. But yeah, it really kind of just starts from there and starts right away from the 3D process. There's not really any sort of hard concept art or anything beyond just maybe some initial sketching,
Hmm.
but nothing really too advanced.
Okay, that makes sense. So, this is sort of off the list of questions I gave you, but in terms of the project, are you have you made everything yourself, or have you gotten any commissions done for like music or art, or has it been 100% just you?
So the only thing that has been commissioned is I don't know if will remember on like the starter selection screen. There's small 2D images of the starters.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
That's the only thing that's been commissioned. Otherwise, everything else completely made by me.
Damn. Well,
Yeah,
you're an all-purpose tool, man. That's
yeah.
awesome.
It's been a learning process, but I felt like I don't know. I felt like I definitely wanted to make something myself just to see if I could do it.
Yeah, no, I thought maybe the music might have been, but you even made the music too, eh?
Oh yeah, sorry. The music is actually licensed off of a site.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. That makes. I was gonna say the music's really good. You're designing, coding, and making the music. That would have been kind of nuts.
Yeah, the music is just some copyright free stuff that you can use.
Oh, okay, okay. It fits the game anyway.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I tried to find something that fit the game that was relatively easily obtainable.
Yeah. So, Mython Island seemingly popped up out of nowhere for a lot of people, including myself. But from looking at the game, it's clearly been worked on for much longer than it's been public. How long have you been hiding this?
So initially development kind of started back in, I want to say like the end of May was when the concept initially first
Okay.
came into my mind. And then June was kind of planning and coming up with what I really wanted to make for the game and concepts and kind of back end mechanics and things like that.
Hmm.
And then going forward, like I would say July is really when I started hitting it super strong,
Hmm.
like actually actively making content and developing it and getting it all worked out for the release for December. So probably about let's see, like 6 7 months of active development so far.
That's pretty good actually. That's pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how much I've been able to get done, but I probably honestly have worked on it maybe a little bit of an unhealthy amount in some cases. But I've been motivated to get content edited and get things working right.
Yeah, that's definitely relatable. With the amount I've been uploading, I've
Yep.
gone quite a few times not sleeping and then going straight to work after.
Yeah, I definitely know how that can be.
So you also run a Temtem YouTube channel with around 6,100 subscribers, I believe.
Oh yeah, yep.
Can you talk about any challenges with juggling both the development and the YouTube channel?
Yeah, so definitely it's hard to juggle both. I'll definitely say that first, but it kind of has helped right now because obviously I'm a Temtem focused channel
Yeah,
and it kind of is easier to make content when there's like big content updates and stuff. And
yeah,
it's kind of maybe been a little bit nicer for me because there hasn't really been a major update for a little bit of a while now.
yeah.
So I've been able to kind of divert my focus to the game pretty much 100%. I've
Yeah.
still tried to upload at least every week or so, at least maybe every couple of weeks,
Yeah.
put a video up. But yeah, like I said, there hasn't really been a whole lot of content to make besides just speculation and stuff. So it's just been kind of easy to to divert my time into the game development side of it rather than do YouTube, just for the lack of content to make videos on.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. We were talking about this before we went live, but there's only so many videos you can make before it's like, okay, I've talked about pretty much everything.
Right,
Just
exactly.
waiting on the new content.
Yeah, you just exhaust all of your topics to talk about, and just kind of got to wait for something new.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I guess you answered this. So the YouTube channel came before the development of Mython Island then, because I believe your channel started up in December.
Yeah, it was December, and initially I was doing like MMO type content,
Yeah,
and then Temtem came out and fell in love with that and blew up pretty big for doing that. So I
I
decided,
remember. I
yeah,
remember we kind of started around the same time because I started with Temtem and then I was like, holy crap, there's other games like this. And then
yep.
I just started digging down this rabbit hole until I found like a million different monster taming games.
It's funny that you say that because like I actually didn't really know. I mean, I obviously knew there was other like monster taming games. Like for example, I don't know if you knew what Nino Kuni is at all.
Oh yeah, actually I'm about to buy it on Steam. It's on
Oh
sale.
yeah, yeah, really good game. But anyway, I knew like stuff like that exists, but I didn't know there was like a dedicated, group of games that were like actively trying to be like monster taming games.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's been really eye opening to see, not only Temtem have the success that it has, but just everything that has happened over this last year. Like we've mentioned, the boom of monster
Yeah.
taming games.
Yeah, yeah, no, for 100%. Like, it's been definitely the crazy past few months. I think at least for the next 3 years, it's going to be a little nuts because after 2023, I'm not sure what's coming out, but up until then, we're going to have steady releases by the looks of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure there will be more that gets announced between
Oh
now and
yeah,
then as well.
I actually have a few developers that have talked to me that are in really really early stages that are getting ready to reveal some stuff too. So that's
Ah, cool.
definitely going to be some interesting stuff coming out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Okay, so my questions just completely got destroyed on me. Here we go. Mython Island features a survival mode, which I personally thought was like the first time I heard about that. I was like, holy crap, that's actually really cool. Can you explain the differences between the regular campaign and the survival mode for those who may not know?
Yeah, so survival mode is pretty much just kind of more of a jump in and play type of game mode. So in survival mode, you're going to be obtaining 4 random Mython, and they'll be added to your team, and you'll go through a run with that team, and you won't be able to capture any additional allies. So you have to rely on those ones that they give you at the beginning and keep those alive for the whole run.
Yeah.
But for story mode, you'll be able to go through and pick your starter, have an item called the Mythosphere, which will allow you to bond and essentially add wild Mython to your party. You can have a party of 4, and even if one dies, you can still capture another one and add it to your team and keep on adding allies rather than just being limited to the original ones.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You got to watch out for those. I don't remember its name. The rainbow crane you can find in survival mode.
Yeah,
I ran into
Prismora.
one today. Actually, I was like, ooh, came clutch.
Yeah, I really enjoy the aspect of being able to just jump in and get a random squad and just kind of start playing.
Yeah, it definitely makes it fun to experiment with the different types of Mython there are. Because every time I've booted it up, I've seen, oh, this is a Mython I haven't used yet. Or
Yeah, exactly.
it's nice. It's definitely nice. So between each battle or I guess stop on your quest, you're given some various choices. Do you mind explaining which like what each of those choices are for maybe someone who hasn't played the game yet?
Yeah, definitely. So on in between your paths, you're gonna have generated choices. So you have an option of getting number one would be a fateful encounter, which would just be a random encounter of a Mython, and then you have a shop, Capadon shop, which will allow you to buy items, and sell items as well that you have obtained. You do get items through various events and from battles as well. You can get items from drops,
Hmm.
and those have some of them are percentage based drops as well, so you can sell those at the shop. There's also places of power where you can go and you can evolve your Mython. There's no set level or anything. You can evolve it right away if you get one at that first or second path. You can just evolve it right away. I really like that aspect of it, just not tying evolution to like a certain level
Yeah.
of it. But otherwise, there's the random event, like the question mark path, and that will be more so your more random events, which will include getting random items. You can get money, random amounts of money. There's healing spots that'll heal a small amount of your HP and your AP, which is essentially your stamina meter.
Hmm.
And let's see what else is there. There's places where you can get random Mython that'll show up and you can add it to your party. There's random encounters with the hooded figures, and there's one more too. There's one with I believe it's, I don't know if I mentioned it, with Capadon giving you random items, but yeah, those are the ones right now. But I'm definitely working on more to get added into the game for the random events. I do think that right now though that it does offer a lot of variation for the runs just being generated.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, that was actually my next question. Are there any plans for more? So are you able to tease anything a little bit, like in terms of what you might be planning, or if you can't, you don't have to. Just wondering
Yeah,
if I could sort of pull something out of you.
so I know I can definitely mention this. I know that I want to be adding in a draft type of mode where you can just go in and select, just pretty much just straight up select what Mython you want to add onto your squad and then go through like battles with that. Rather than having it be completely random, I would like to add in a draft type of mode just for people to be able to choose like that.
Oh, okay, nice, nice.
Other than that, though, I'm hesitant to say this, but I do want to add in a small portion of the island where you can actually control like a player character and run around on the island and capture Mython, and
Oh,
then
okay.
do like a small tournament thing. That's something that I've been developing kind of on the side, but
Yeah,
it's definitely not like a priority at this point. But
yeah.
something I definitely am looking into adding, and hopefully we'll be adding.
Mython Island too, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. I really want to get like something built, like a basis for a sequel. So if I have like someone running around on the island and have that able to be ported directly to a sequel, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So I'm not gonna say any major spoilers here, but the ending of the game leaves some questions unanswered. Are there any plans to extend the campaign in order to answer these questions, or perhaps like have some sort of separate mode that answers these questions? Or are we gonna have to wait until a potential sequel to find out?
So the plan is to expand on it in that game mode that I just mentioned there, that I'm hopefully adding, where you can actually just run around and explore the island a little bit. I'm hopefully going to be able to add that. If not in this game, it will be sequel type stuff. But yeah, if not there, I'll definitely make sure to add that into like the draft or survival mode, and have some events that explain a little bit more of the lore aspects of it. But yeah, that's the plan, is hopefully to add it in to that other mode that I'm working on.
Yeah, that definitely. I was kind of wondering. I'm like, I kind of want to know what's going on here. Like, am I one of those hooded figures? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, I definitely left it pretty open ended.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, and I'm gonna ask this question now because I always skip it and try to ask it at the end of the video, but then I always forget. Who is your favorite Mython?
My favorite is, there's one that I haven't released yet. That's probably my top favorite, but in
Oh,
in the game, it's probably Harrion. I don't know if you would know which one that is, but it's the small like, electric bunny, but it's like the evolution of that one.
okay. You know what I'll do? I'll find it and I'll put it as a thumbnail monster
Yeah,
so
there you go.
everybody
Or I
knows.
can get you a picture of it too,
That would
if
be
you
even
need.
better.
Yeah.
I guess since you just said what you said, that this kind of brings me on to another question. So are there more Mython planned for the game?
Yeah, absolutely. I currently have 21 or 20 new Mython done. that are ready to be added, but I want to add more than that.
Okay.
And I haven't settled on a final number just yet, but yeah, definitely more to come.
How many Mython are in the game currently, if you don't mind me asking?
Currently catchable, like bondable, there's 87.
Okay, okay, and then that obviously doesn't include the bosses and the
Right.
shopkeep and all those guys. Okay, all right, and this became kind of a meme during our stream. I don't know if you're watching. The bacon monster. That's what we call the power guy.
Yeah,
Okay, sweet.
that's funny.
So, that concludes our regular standard questions about the game itself. We do have the community questions, which you guys were gracious enough to contribute in the Discord server. And if you're watching it or not in the Discord server, I highly recommend you join. You'll be able to partake in stuff like this and sort of hang out. And I try to make an appearance now and then when I can too. But so for the first community question I have is from Cirque. He's asking, how open would you be to collabs with other Mon games? And if the answer is yes to the previous question, what games would you like to collab with if given the chance?
Yeah, so I'm personally open to collabs with pretty much any monster taming game that would want to do it. I mean, I think it'd be really cool to feature other monster taming games in this game, maybe either in a random encounter if they wanted to feature a monster, or even just have it be in the game, not necessarily capturable or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would definitely be open to that. As for like specific games, I don't really have any in mind. I mean, I'm really, like I said, open to pretty much anyone that would be open to it. So if you guys are interested, definitely reach out.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. That's always good to hear. I hear a lot of devs saying that they're interested now, so hopefully we can get some craziness going on.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Marlon's got a few questions. The first is, what would you say the best and worst quality of your games are?
I would say the best is that it's kind of unique. I mean, there's not really a whole lot of monster taming games that are roguelike aspects. There's definitely some upcoming ones like Abomination and Necromancer's Gift, but
Yes.
other than that, I mean, I do like how unique it is in relation to the other monster taming games out there. I personally, I guess, I haven't really came across anything like it, to my knowledge, anyway. But I would say that's the strongest aspect of it. The worst, I would say, is that it's not done yet. There's still a lot of things that I want to add, and
Yeah.
quality type things that I need to fix up. But yeah, I think it's in a good state. But yeah, it's not done yet. I wish it was done, but yeah, still chipping away at it.
Yeah, and about as far as like choice driven roguelites, you're the first one I've played. So if there's any other ones, I haven't played it personally, and
Yeah.
I follow a lot of games, so it is
Yeah,
pretty
I haven't
unique.
seen any. I mean, I'd love to know if there was, but
Yeah, besides the Abomination demo, but even still, like Abomination is different in that you're not given the choices and stuff like that. So it
right.
still would be unique either way. Okay, next on Marlon's question list here. What would be the biggest hurdles you have encountered during this project?
The biggest hurdle, I guess I would say, because this is my first solo project, would be not really having anyone to lean on, kind of having to rely on myself to do everything.
Yeah.
In a way, though, it was kind of a strength because I kept telling myself if I didn't do something, I kept telling myself, I was like, well, you're just gonna have to do it yourself eventually. You can't just there's no one else that's gonna do this for you, so you just kind of have to just push through and do it yourself here. So I don't know, it was kind of motivating in a way, but
Yeah.
yeah, definitely a learning experience.
Was it hard for you to keep it a secret so long?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I definitely posted updates on my own Discord for a while, but like after that, I kind of kept it like more so a secret
Mm.
because I wanted something really like tangible to show off when I first unveiled it.
Yeah, that
So that
makes
was
sense.
why
Yeah.
I delayed it on the game piece for so long.
Yeah, it's first impressions are always really important too, especially like you have a
Yeah.
pretty big audience, so you want to get that big. I saw some of the comments. People are like, "Wait a sec, you're making a game?"
Yeah, exactly. It's just completely unexpected.
I remember somebody in our stream was like, "Yeah, it's made by the Game Piece." I'm like, "What are you talking about? The Game Piece is a
Yeah.
Temtem YouTuber."
Yeah, I remember I was there when that happened actually. I was just like cracking up.
I'm like, I had to go investigate. I was like, "What do you mean?" And I went to your channel. I was like, "Wait, what?" And then I
Like,
looked at
wait a
my
minute.
DMs. Would you send me like a smiley face or
Yeah,
something?
something like that. Yeah.
Pretty funny stuff.
That was good.
Marlon also asks, would you ever consider a port to the Switch, PS5, etc.?
Yeah, if I was allowed to, like, financially, definitely, I would definitely want to do that.
Hmm.
Switch would probably be my number one port of
Yeah.
choice. But yeah, I definitely would be open to PS5, Xbox, whatever.
Cool. That's definitely good to hear. And Marlon's last question was, what made you want to make the game in the first place?
I guess the main thing was, like, I've been a fan of Pokemon my whole life, and I wanted to make a game that was a monster taming game, and as I said earlier, it's something that was tangible and capable of getting done myself. So, yeah, I mean, really, it's definitely the Pokemon was probably like the main inspiration, just being so enamored with it growing up,
Yeah.
like, my whole life, and just I don't know, it's kind of always been a dream to make a monster taming game. I like have done some, like, ROM hacks and like that kind of thing in the past, and it's always fun to kind of see your own creations and actually be able to play them and stuff like that.
Next, I'm gonna hear that you created one of the ROM hacks that I talked, because I also do ROM hacking. I'm gonna hear that you were like the creator of Pokemon Gaia.
No, 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 no. I never really made anything in ROM hack wise, like, fully to completion,
Okay.
but I definitely dabbled in it a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely different. I mean, I had worked on mine up until the second gym, and now I'm at a point where it's like I want to finish it, but I
Yeah,
also
exactly.
wanted to start working on my own project as well, because I do know how to code in GML, but
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, I need to finish working on my ROM hack first because it needs to be done.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally get that. It's
Yeah.
it's almost like a, I don't know, not necessarily a pride thing, but, like, it's like you just want to see it through to the end.
Yeah, exactly. Every time I started to pick up, I've already coded part of the battle system that I wanted to code, and I just kept thinking about the ROM hack. I'm like, I gotta finish this thing. I
Yeah.
get questions about it sometimes because my YouTube channel used to be talking about my ROM hack, and anyway, so that's my
Yeah. I
tangent.
definitely know. I definitely know how that can be.
Yeah. Okay, so Monster Tamer Bloba asks, how long have you been a game developer? And I guess obviously you were saying this was your first major project, but I'm assuming this isn't your first experience with coding.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, I've made, like, some smaller stuff in the past, but a lot of like the code for this game is just like specifically, like, research for this game.
Yeah.
Purposefully, like, only when I was starting developing this game, because a lot of the others, this is like the most in-depth game that I've had to, like, really make systems for, or, like, dive into systems for,
Yeah.
because of all, like, the stats and all the back end stuff. But yeah, I guess, I don't know. It's hard to put a time frame on it. I guess I would personally only consider myself a game dev, like, since the start of this year. But yeah, it's hard to say, I guess.
What engine is the game using?
Unity is what
Oh,
it's
okay, it's
being
Unity.
built in.
Okay. Yeah, I'm stupid. I just started up the game like 30 minutes ago and I saw that.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay, cool. And Nazir, that's our final community question is, after reaching the full release date, and I guess we kind of talked on this already, but would you start planning the sequel of the game, or will you start a new project that's separate?
So I would really like to make a, like, a full blown RPG game. I definitely, that's something I would definitely like to do. Whether or not that's the next one or not, or if I'm just gonna maybe make, like, a smaller title that's unrelated
Hmm.
next. Who knows? It's kind of in the drawing stages right now. But right now, first and foremost, I'm focused on finishing up early access for this game and getting everything added in that I want to add to this game, and getting it into a finished state. But yeah, who knows for the future? I definitely, like I said, would like to make a sequel in the style of, like, a full blown monster taming game. But we'll see.
Yeah, that'd definitely be great to see. The I noticed the like all the island assets, like the grass and everything, like it's really pretty, so I can already imagine what that would look like as its own like explorable world.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard not to kind of get distracted by the idea a little bit.
Understandable completely. So before we wrap things up, was there anything else you sort of wanted to get out there before we do?
I guess I just wanted to say thank you again for having me on the podcast, and hopefully, if you guys check out the game, hopefully you guys enjoy it, and just keep in mind it is in early access. And if you guys do have any issues, definitely let me know. I'm trying to stay on top of that type of thing, but otherwise, if there's any feedback, like I'm more than open to hearing it, any positive or negative, no matter what. Just let me know.
Yeah, for sure. And do you have a Discord specifically for Mython Island yet?
I do not have one specifically for Mython Island. I might make one in the future, but for now, I found it kind of hard to maintain just myself here. But
Yeah.
yeah, in the future, definitely there will be one.
So if you guys do want to see anything or like see what's going on with Mython Island, the Twitter page, our Discord has a Mython Island channel where Game Piece is pretty active in. So if you
Yeah,
guys want to sort of chit chat there, that's his channel. I told you before, you can spam whatever stuff you want in there.
yeah,
So
I've definitely been posting there pretty frequently whenever I've had any sort of information on the game. So that's
yeah.
definitely a good place to check.
Yeah, so definitely that for sure. Check out the Twitter, Steam. I'll link all of the Game Pieces social media, and we'll be good to go from there.
Yes, indeed. And the game is it's like extended now. I was able to get the sale extended,
Yes,
the launch sale till the end of the winter sale, so January 5th. It's 10% off.
yes. So make sure to pick it up because it's a lot of fun.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So all right, I just wanted to say thank you again to the Game Piece for coming on the channel, and definitely, like I said earlier, check out Mython Island on Steam if you haven't. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.